time to get this show started. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
You know, the crazy part about my brother, most of the pranks or the hijinks that I pulled on him always involves him in the bed sleeping. You know,
You knew when to strike.
the crazy part about it, yeah, he was just, a captive victim. He's just laying there. But what always tripped me up was he controlled lights out. So he was always the first one asleep. And those people that fall asleep in like 10 seconds or like a couple minutes?
Yeah, I don't know. I have to be like dog ass tired for me to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like, but for me, just like a regular day, for me just to nah.
Yeah, I need to
I
like
gotta
watch
unwind.
TV for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or an
Mhm.
hour, and I fall asleep at
Yeah.
some point. But, he could be asleep in a few minutes. That pissed me off because not only could he fall asleep fast, but we'll get into this here later, but he would be napping all the time. Like, how do you sleep before me, get up the same time I do, and you're tired, right?
Yeah.
But so what would happen, in the future, especially on the weekends, my friend James would come over. He'd come knocking on the window, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. This is the weekend. I'm already wanting to be asleep.
Oh yeah.
But, my friend James, he was a huge gamer. As much as me and my brother like playing video games, this guy lived for video games. And his mom hated him playing video games. So she always wanted him to get up out the house and go play outside and do all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he'd do. He'd get kicked out of the house early in the morning. He'd come knocking on our window. Hey guys, come play video games. So
he had plan B.
yeah, so his plan B, which tricked his mom into thinking he was actually being productive at
Mhm.
this time, or at least running around. He'd just come to our house, knock on the window. My brother would wake up, let him in the house, and then this guy's playing video games. And I feel like I'd have to be the one entertaining it, because I can't go back to sleep if my brother's going back to sleep. Somebody's got to be awake with our friend,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's what would happen. Sometimes he'd stay awake and play video games. The three of us would have fun after watching Pokemon and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
But most of the time, he'd fall back asleep. And again, the animosity. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't stay up late, but I have to get up early. But you get to nap.
Boy.
So as time went by, me and James, we came up with all types of, plans to mess with my brother. We went from like the basic stuff from, picking up a pillow and slapping him in the face to, pulling the blanket off of him real quick and he'd
Yeah.
get mad and go back to sleep. But I came up with a couple different ideas and ways of getting some revenge on him
Mm-hmm.
and just killing time. That's what you did in the 90s. You had a lot of
Yeah.
time when
You
you're in
you
the
did
90s,
have a lot of time.
you know?
It was crazy how we just roamed around.
Yeah.
Like, was it John Walsh when his kid?
Yeah.
That
That's
was
where
all
Code
in the
Adam came
90s.
from.
That code, yeah.
Yeah, Code Adam came from
All
that.
that was in the 90s. That's when stuff started to get a little dangerous, like
Yeah.
mid 90s. But those early 90s leading into the mid
You
90s,
used to
like
be able to
90,
go around, do anything, nobody bother you, nobody try to
Man.
touch you.
none of that. Like you didn't have to worry about none of that shit. Like
No.
motherfuckers had their doors unlocked, and when you had the storm door,
Yeah.
you can leave the main door open. You actually see outside, and people would.
That's right. But in the 90s, you had plenty of time. You also had plenty of time to think. You didn't have a device that was telling you or feeding you information.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I thought, as I'm sitting there having to be awake when I'm tired too,
Mm-hmm.
I talked to my friend James. Hey, let's see what we can do to my brother. So I was that weird kid. Like I didn't collect so much the video games. That was more my brother. I wasn't the one trying to buy a football or a basketball. Like I was the kid. I was buying like tape and rope and all this kind of stuff and tools. So I decided to put some stuff to good use.
Yeah.
I'd go down to the little dollar store. They had like these little rolls of like painter's tape, and it was like a pack that had like 10 rolls, and that shit was
Oh,
like
yeah.
$1.
Yeah.
Like, nowadays that costs you like $15.
Oh yeah.
But so I had that
Facts.
stuff just sitting in my room. So I figured I'd put it to good use, and I got my friend James on board. We had this really cool idea, really me, to take these rolls of tape and kind of build like a web. So we'd run the tape from top to bottom, from left to right on the bunk bed. We did the wide open side, and we did the other side with the ladder. And I figured, okay, well, we'll wake him up afterwards, and he'll get mad, and he'll get caught up in a tape, right? I guess I grew up watching too much Scooby Doo, thinking
Yeah.
that that's how shit actually happens,
Nah.
right? So I had everything all taped up, and a nice little web. You had like maybe like squares of 1 foot by 1 foot, and then we just yell at him to wake him up, and so he woke up and he just looked at it, and it's kind of like, and just put his arms between the web and just kind of parted it.
Yeah.
Like, that was lame.
Yeah.
All that
Yeah.
tape wasted, right?
Yeah. That was another plan you didn't fully.
Well, yeah. I didn't always have the best details in my plans, but I didn't really think about it. I just figured he'd walk through it or try to dive through it and be covered in tape. So a little disappointed. So the same day,
We was young, like you said, we just watched too many cartoons. We
Yeah,
thought that
yeah.
shit was real life.
yeah, that's exactly what it was, and it didn't work the way I wanted to. So I came up with a revision to that plan, right? So I figured, okay, tape, he can bust through it. What about rope? So I had all types of spools of rope and twine. I guess I was like a prepper or something. I don't know. I don't know what I was prepping for. I guess I was prepping to harass my brother.
Yeah, that was the prep work.
Yeah, little Dennis the Menace to my brother.
Man.
But yeah, so my brother, you give him like another 5-10 minutes, he's back to sleep, right? So then told James, I'm like, you know what? Let's make some web out of some twine. So we went to work. This took us a little bit more time because you had to tie knots and everything.
You had to construct this.
Yeah, so we went to this project and we started doing the webbing, top to bottom, left to right, just like the tape. And then you interlock the little crossovers with the knots. This way he can't just push it aside.
Yeah.
Right. So, this time we had the trap set, and we tested it. Felt like it was pretty good and strong. So what I decided to do this time around was just reach my 13-year-old arm in through the webbing, and I just punched him.
Oh shit!
Yeah, a little bit of revenge. He was into wrestling, so I mean, I can't tell you how many times he put me in a chokehold or some kind of submission move.
Okay. So this is all your get back.
Yeah,
your
it's all my get back.
Oh, okay. I thought you was over here just being a hellion harassing your
No.
This is all
there's
your
give
get
and
back.
take.
I
This
got
time
you.
I was giving it. I can't tell you how many times he thought he was like Bret Hart and put me in some kind of submission move. But so like I said, I just reached my arm in through the web and I just clocked him in the face.
I bet he wasn't happy about that shit.
He wasn't happy, but you know what?
He wasn't
though?
happy at all about that shit.
He sat up real quick and he saw the webbing, and me and my friend James, we're sitting there laughing, because he's trying to push through this thing, trying to rip it. It's not breaking apart, so we're sitting here thinking maybe we can get him a few more times, through the webbing.
Oh, so now y'all going to keep poking the bear.
Yeah. So we poked the bear, all right. And what was funny is what I didn't think about, which all of my plans had some kind of backdoor option or disappointment. But so he was trapped. He didn't have a pair of scissors. But what I didn't think about was, and where he became very smart was, he pushed the bed away from the wall. So when I saw him pushing the bed, so he can crawl out through that gap between the walls, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Now I gotta run.
Yeah.
So we just ran through the house. It was like Indiana Jones, being chased by the fucking cannonball or something like that. The second we stop, if he gets us, we're done.
We're done for.
But we made it to the
Temple
door.
Run.
Yeah. And dude, I can't even tell you what it's like when you're running and you're semi-scared but also laughing. That's the best kind of running.
It is.
You're breathing really good. You're getting a lot of oxygen. You have a little bit of that adrenaline in you.
Yeah.
Man, we cleared the front door. Me and James were out of there. And the best part about when your sibling, is mad at you, you usually give them a little bit of time.
Oh yeah.
And they calm down.
Yeah.
Then you walk in the room a few hours later, open the door. Hey bro, you mad? Then he's got a smile on his face, he's laughing, kind of that was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one.
But I got one more. Now this wasn't the same day. This was probably the next weekend or a couple weekends later. So same deal. James is over. He's playing video games.
But James is James said, "Fuck it."
I mean, I spent more time with my friend James than I did my brother because my brother was sleeping most of the time. But so I interrupted his gaming. I said, "Hey man, I got another idea." Let me see what you think. So this particular morning, which my brother did most of the time, when he's sleeping, he also has his jaw open. So he's sitting there kind of at like a 45 degrees. So
Hey.
his mouth is hanging wide open.
Man.
Right? So I just started thinking, what can I do? Do you grab like a hot dog and put a hot dog in his mouth or something? Like, no, that's probably been overplayed.
Yeah.
So I came up with this idea with James. I'm like, hey, man, why don't we get some hot sauce and drop it in his mouth?
Hell no.
And James was like, son of a bitch, I'm in. He was so ready to do it. He was so ready.
Oh, my God.
And, as we started building this plan, went to the kitchen, went in the fridge. There was no hot sauce. I was like, fuck, what are we going to do? Then I remembered there's a Cuban supermarket, Cuban cafeteria right there in the corner. We know the owners. We buy there from all the time. We figured, okay, let's go over there, see if they can give us some hot sauce. Right? So they gave us like one of those like Cuban coffee cups.
Oh, yeah.
With, hot sauce in it.
Mm-hmm.
They filled it like halfway. And we got that. We came back to the house. And I started thinking, well, there's not any hot sauce in the house, but I know my parents have cayenne pepper, which is really hot. So we took that shit and we dumped it in the cup, and we put so much of it in it. It was almost like a paste-like consistency. It wasn't like just a clear running liquid now. It was like semi-liquid. It was enough that you can move it around and pull it into the straw, but it was really dense with the cayenne pepper.
Oh, my God. I bet that was.
Yeah, we wanted to make this thing like a volcano hot.
Oh, my God. That is.
We wanted him to like go outside with the garden hose and like wash it out. But so now we had this concoction, and we're like, okay, how are we going to deliver it? Right? We're going to pour it in there. So we had the idea that we're going to tilt the cup a little bit and put a straw in there and plug the straw with the fingertip. This way we can focus it, right?
Yeah.
So one of my strengths when it comes to doing pranks is when I know it's going to be really bad, I usually convince somebody else to do the prank for me. Right?
So that's what James was. James was your scapegoat.
I mean, this time he was, I just figured.
I can't even lie. James, he the homie.
Man, he was such a cool guy.
Because he never, at once, from what you tell me, said like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. He was like, man, let's do it.
Yeah, he was always all for it. He never deviated. He was like, let's go.
James, that motherfucker. Hey, James,
He is.
you are, man, you that motherfucker.
That's right.
You that motherfucker, boy.
I hadn't seen you in like 15 years, but,
Appreciate
come
it.
So I mean, James was mainly my brother's friend, because they were about the same age, but,
Oh, so damn. Like, so he's.
Yeah. But.
All this information is making it very interesting.
But I was that little brother. I was always into that fun shit.
Yeah.
So even though like they're pretty much best friends, James would roll with me when it came to the fun shit.
That's what's happening.
Right? So he was a good partner, and so I convinced him to do the drip. Right. So here it is. My brother's there on the bed sleeping, with his mouth hanging open. And, he gets the cup. I think I was holding the cup and he had the straw, right? So he can focus. So, we filled that straw up about that much. And so he's holding the straw, and then he goes over there. He's hovering above his face with this, like trying to, get in there with his lip. And the problem was this first go, we were chuckling so much. we couldn't hold it together, right? You know how it is, like when you're doing something really fun, like you bust out a little bit, then your friend starts busting out, then it's just a chain reaction of laughs, right? So that's what kept happening. It's like,
yeah.
And so round one, James is like right up, maybe like an inch off, his mouth, and then he fires, right? But he's shaky. He's got a shaky hand because he's laughing. So this shit hits his lip and then just rolls down his chin down his neck.
Well, I swear to God, man, I was starting to have to like, man, is your brother okay? Y'all was saying like y'all was terrorizing the fuck out of that.
Disclaimer before we get to the rest of the story. Me and my brother were doing great. He just got married a few weeks ago.
Oh
I
yeah.
was one of the groomsmen.
Did they like the pops? Did you?
They did like the pops.
That's what's
Oh,
up.
yeah, they loved it. And I was just completely honored to be there and be a part of that. But I'm gonna tell the story of how I fucked up my brother's day. Not the wedding day.
I'll get ready to say
That day in the 90s.
Oh, okay.
But so James, dropped the bomb there, and it kind of grazed his lip. Most of it fell out. Some of it went in, just a touch, right? Because he's sitting there like, but he didn't wake up. His eyes didn't open, right? So we're sitting there like, is
Yeah,
it time to run? Are we running?
man.
So we held tight for a few minutes, and then he just went back to his pose. So we went for round 2. Now round 2, we accomplished the mission. That whole shot of concoction of hot sauce and cayenne pepper.
I bet that shit was terrible.
Look,
Oh my god.
let me tell you, like we dropped it, James dropped it, and then there's like a 2-second moment of silence. We're like, okay, it's in. And at first he didn't flinch, and then like you see him working his jaw, and he opens his eyes and he sees us, like he's looking up, like sees us laughing at him. Like he had the biggest rage moment
Yeah, I bet
in the almost 40 years I've known him. The look on his face looked like he was about to kill
so.
somebody.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, you fucking bitches.
Hey, he
Dude.
was mad as fuck. I bet.
Yeah. So,
oh man.
mind you, there's no tape web, there's no like
Oh,
twine, there's
there's
nothing,
nothing that-
there's
holding-
nothing that can hold back the Incredible Hulk, because that's what he was in this moment. He was the Hulk. Like, I don't know if it was my imagination, but he looked bigger in that moment. Like he was about to like pull our spine through our backs, like, dude. And I see him rip off that blanket, and then it was in that moment, me and James, we were like, let's fucking run.
Yeah, you gotta run.
And dude, like we're running, like we hit the door. Like I told you before, my house was shaped like a donut, so we run through out of the bedroom into the bathroom, the pantry, the kitchen. You got to go through several rooms to get to the front door, right? And we've done this before. We had the other pranks we've done. This time was different. Like he was running like it sounded like the juggernaut coming through the house. And the house was an above ground house too.
Yeah.
Old house, so you hear the floor. But as we're running, we hear doom, 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 doom.
Yeah, he was pissed.
He was fucking pissed.
He was
like
pissed.
the floor was paying for it that day.
Yeah, more.
So we get to the front door, and the way the front door was in the house, you have like your regular lock, and then you have a deadbolt up top.
Yeah.
And this is before the code standard change, where you had to have like a little latch on it where you can do it
Oh
with your
yeah,
hand.
with the little chain latch.
So it was still like a deadbolt, but instead of a little knob or whatever, it was a key, right? So you had to open it from the inside and the outside with the key. So most of the time, which is like 90% of the time, the key just lived in it, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going out
Understand.
from the inside, it's in there, right? And mind you, we just got back from this Cuban cafeteria maybe 5-10 minutes ago. So that key was in there when we locked
Oh,
the door.
yeah.
So my brother's chasing us. We get to that door, and the key's not in it.
Oh no.
And we knew where the key was. The key was always on the bookshelf, like right on top. And but in that moment, you're trying to open the door,
Yeah.
like, oh shit, he's coming. So like we're sitting there like fumbling with the key. Like I grabbed the key, I dropped the key, I finally get the key in there, I turn the tumbler just in the nick of time. We got out right before, like I saw him coming into that room as we were walking out. Like think of like Jurassic Park when the T-Rex is chasing the Jeep, or like Indiana Jones again with the cannonball. Like, dude, we were moments from disaster. And
Dang.
I can't remember if he was just in his underwear, if he was in his shorts, but I know he didn't have a shirt on, and, my brother, he was a bigger boy, most of it muscle, but he was a bigger guy. He couldn't run as fast as us. So we knew once we got out to the road, we were safe, right?
Oh yeah.
So once we got out that door, we were home free. But somehow along the way, he picked up a couple bottles of water, and he was just launching them at us in the street.